Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Friday afternoon Zoom edition, and it's been a crazy week in crypto. The SEC has coming out guns blazing and looking to take down any crypto that they don't like or that even halfway kind of sort of resembles a security. A few have been safe, Bitcoin safe, Ethereum safe, Litecoin safe, but they targeted a couple of my favorites, Matic and Atom. So good news is I got some of my low buy orders filled on some swing trades. Bad news is they're still going down, but that's okay. That technology didn't change just because the SEC decided it didn't like it. So I really liked the CryptNation calls this week on Tuesday and Thursday. I went over this in some detail. If you didn't see those and you want to learn more about what the SEC mischief is and how it affects specific projects, you might want to check those recordings, check those out. So anyway, it's a little, I mean, knowing the general market conditions is helpful as day traders, but it's not our highest priority. But let's look at some charts. Okay, I'll start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's in pretty good shape. It's essentially even today. Well, maybe the time just changed, but it hasn't done much today. Still stuck in this channel going sideways, stuck between about 28K and 26K. Bouncing around this range. Not much going on with it. Did dip on Monday. That's when the announcements of the lawsuits came out. But again, it recovered most of that loss, at least half of it. And Ethereum doing a little better, actually. Tighter range between 1800 and 1900. But again, mostly trending sideways. And then I have a couple charts. I have an hour chart of Atom. SEC named this in the complaint against, I can't remember if it was Binance or Coinbase or both. It's down about 13% this week. Matic's a little worse. Down 17.5%. Looks like maybe hit a bottom here. I don't know. We'll see. And Litecoin has trended up since then, which I thought was pretty cool. But Litecoin was not named in the lawsuits filed by the SEC. It's actually up a little bit, about 3.5%. So the coins named by the SEC are taking a hit. Others not so much. And Ethereum and Bitcoin just trending sideways, not that affected by that news. Affected a little bit, but not that much. Actually, I think it goes to the resilience of those projects that they weren't affected more. So I've thrown some stuff out there. Any comments, questions about the markets overall or some of the coins I just discussed? Okay, I got some background noise I need to deal with. Oh, it went away.
You can hear me, CJ?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's got to make it, you got to be pretty brave to take a long on any of those coins that have been mentioned, I would think, at this stage.
You know, I would agree with that. And I had those buy orders set weeks ago, thinking if we had a dip or there was news of a recession or something like that hit, then it might drop down, grab them, and then work its way back up. And that still may happen. But what's not clear to me is how much of an effect overall, how much of the trading of these projects is from the U.S. Now, there's a perception in the world that U.S. economic matters affect these markets, and that's certainly true. But how long and to what extent? So since the low buy orders I talked about earlier with Atom and Matic, for me, are long-term holds. So if they dip down to 65 cents for Atom, or $9 or $8.50 for Atom, or vice versa, if Matic or Atom drop another 10%, 20%, I don't really care. I'll probably maybe buy some more and then hold them for a few years. So that's my reasoning. The
Yeah,
technology is still
sorry,
good, but
I wasn't sorry, I wasn't questioning that type of trade. I was sort of meaning more the short term high leverage, thinking there's going to be a bounce and make a quick buck.
okay. Well, Craig's talking about day trading on a day trading show. Imagine that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm the one going off script. All right. Well, then, my friend, we are in agreement on that. So, um, yeah, I'd be reluctant to. Yeah, I kind of want to though, but probably not
Yeah,
yet. I might. I
the
love
temptation's there
it's
because,
there.
so often it always just bounces back, but this time it may not, or bounce back as far anyway, or take a lot longer to do it.
So let's play around with this. Let's do super trend on the hour chart. Got the sell that kicked in. Both of these buys were terrible. This buy triggered, did have a nice move here on the hour chart. This triggered at noon my time on Tuesday and then immediately dropped. So I'm not liking the super trend on this. There's probably gonna be a bunch of divergences. Yeah, a bunch of bullish divergences. None of them did. This one did pretty well, but the rest of them did not. 2.6%. You expect a bigger move on an hour chart. There's better things to trade than this in that regard. So I'm probably going to agree with Craig and not trade this, but maybe go to a really like a day chart, or 4-hour chart. Look for support and resistance. It's right at support now at around 75, between 70 and 75% is support going back to January, but we didn't have this news back in January. So anyway, tough call on that. Okay, any other questions about the market overall or the SEC crosshairs on Matic and Atom? And there's Solana and some others as well, but I don't like those as much as I like these two. So, all right. Well, we're a little late getting to our usual subject matter. Let's look for day trades for tonight and this weekend. Okay, let's go over to Altcoin Alert. And I'm going to refresh, reload, get the most current data. I'm on the altcoin radar option. First thing I do is sort by the AA score. Looking for values 80 and higher, ideally. We don't have any of those today. Closest we have is ZIL at 78. This was not here this morning. But given that this calendar year in 2023, we haven't had many AA scores above 80, I've been fudging a little bit, going down to the high 70s. So let's go ahead and check out ZIL. We've got bullish and very bullish on the sentiment as well. Though the Elder Impulse isn't liking it, but this is a contrarian approach anyway. This is sort of the dip trading I like to see. I like to trade, and what Altcoin Alert is telling us is there's a 78% chance that ZIL will go up 3% or more in the next 48 to 72 hours. I want to extend that a little longer since we're approaching the weekend and volumes tend to be lower on the weekends. Okay, I'm gonna get out of some of these windows, cluttering up my screen. And yeah. Okay, 5-minute chart. And let's find ZIL. Interesting. Pretty good pump off a long dip sequence. Usually we like to see a squeeze like this, and then a dip, and then a pump. Like this is a a good but not great example of the 1, 2, 3 dip we're often looking for. Got a dip, got the squeeze here, a dip here below the Bollinger Band, but it's really like 2 dips-ish, and kind of takes off. Not really a good example. And this one doesn't really have a squeeze, kind of sort of here. And then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a seven dipper. But again, without the squeeze, I don't think this really qualifies. And then it just bounces. It does look
Is
pretty
that
good.
one that was mentioned by the SEC?
By the what?
The SEC.
Oh, SEC?
SEC.
I don't recall.
I mean, that's looking like a pretty good dip trade, or it's not dip trade, a short trade at the moment.
Let's look at a bigger time frame. As far as a price alert, yeah, it's not looking. I'm not seeing really one here that's below. Well, maybe right here actually, but we're pretty close to that now at 0.021 cents. So I think you have to go to a larger time frame if you want to do a price alert. Now for the indicators I like to use, divergence. It's interesting. None of them printed in this sequence. These aren't doing badly. I evaluate these going both directions, and I go back a couple days on the 15-minute chart. So this bearish one did well. This one eventually did well. And to be honest, as a day trader, I'm trading 5 or 10x leverage, looking for a 1% move in my favor on the chart, either direction, depending on what alerts I have set. If you're trading spot, you're going to be looking for bullish divergence and probably looking for a bigger move than 1%, probably 2 to 3% on a spot trading chart. Anyway, that bullish move was okay. This bearish move, yeah, that would have been okay. I don't know if some of these would not. You'd be in this for a while, and then it takes this big move here. So all these bullish divergences eventually would have been in profit. So going into the weekend, I'd be more inclined to do a bearish divergence on this. Right click here, negative divergence detected, open bar, once per bar close. I'll keep it on until you turn it off. And this was an AA score purchase, negative divergence, click create. If you want to trade both directions, you do the same thing on this, on your alert, and you can choose positive divergence detected, once per bar close. And there you go. I think there might be better options than this. We'll see. Otherwise, I might come back to this and put an alert on it for tonight and tomorrow morning. So that's the divergence approach, which is sort of a contrarian dip and pump approach. If you want to trade with the trend, then I like SuperTrend for that purpose. And it looks pretty good here. Yeah, we've got the last 4 or 5. Yeah, that buy from Tuesday morning did well. The sell did well. This buy did well. The sell did well. This buy, I don't know if I got one. Yeah, I probably got more than 1% here. 1.3, not bad. This sell and this buy just triggered. I don't know if I believe it. So if you want to set an alert to trade this both directions, it's pretty cool for that purpose. You can select SuperTrend direction change. Once per bar close, AA score. And there you are. Or you could change it. You could just go with a sell if you think the market's going to drop this weekend, or go with the buy and maybe take that buy order now, though it's got 2 red candles at the moment. But if you're trading spot, you're going to go with the buy. So that's SuperTrend, looks pretty good. And you probably want to match it up when you're trend trading. It's a good idea to match up with other indicators as well. Like on this buy order, we have the RSI trending up and the squeeze momentum indicator turning green. So that would have been confirmation. These are wrong a lot. So, there's that. 60-40, I'd say, depending on when you're getting out, when you're getting in. But, this sell alert has the RSI trending down and the momentum turning red. So that was a good entry as well. All right. And then the other one I like, that I've been doing the best with probably the last month, is this RSI approach. And that's taking a long when it dips below the 30 and comes back up. And let me get my horizontal line for that. So that action happens here on Wednesday morning. And so I would have gotten in here, just missed my 1%. So I would have gotten out here about 12 hours later, 10% trade on 10x leverage. If you're on spot, you might want to get out here at this resistance. So your spot trade in this scenario goes you're probably out right around here, 3% in 18 hours. That's a great day trade. Well, it's a good day trade. So that's the last time that does that for a while. And then if you're on leverage, you can take this short. It happens right about here. It goes above the 70 value and then dips. So you'd probably get in right around here. And I'm looking for my 1%. And probably out right about here, 12 hours later. So pretty good short trade there. And then, yeah, I don't know if that would have triggered on a 30 or not. So sometimes I'll set this for a value higher, maybe 31 or 32. Okay, let's say just for fun, I had that set at 31. I would have gotten in here. And then been out right around here, 9.5 hours later, pick up my 1%. If you're trading on spot, you got support, or I mean resistance right around here. And maybe you get out with that, depending on where you set your take profit. I don't know. I would have been somewhere between here and here. Usually I choose the middle. And I might have been out here, maybe not, with 2%. Otherwise, I'm still in the trade. And then this one on the short side, if you're on leverage, dips below and then drops, and I don't really need to measure that. It's a really good downward move on a short trade. So I'm liking the RSI a lot on ZIL. Of the 3 options we looked at, it's probably the best. So if you're trading spot, your alert's going to look like this. You're going to be crossing up on the value. It's usually the 30, but maybe you want to go 31 because of that, that instance I showed you. Click once per bar close and AA score purchase. And so you're good to go on that one. If you want to trade both directions, which is what I usually do, we're going to go to entering a channel. So we're going to enter a channel on the 70, 31 on the lower for this particular instance, AA score purchase. And then I'll show you what that looks like. So it creates this rectangle here. And it used to be a different color. I'm not sure why they changed the color on this. I didn't do it. And what happens is when it dips below the 30 here, nothing happens. Your alert doesn't go off until it's recovering after the dip. So you get in right about here. So it's not a perfect entry, but you got some momentum going your way and you pick up a quick 1%. And on a leverage trade, it's 5 or 10%. So the same works on taking shorts when it goes above 70. So I've been using this. I had used this quite a bit when I first started using indicators a couple years ago. Then I've gotten back to it recently, and I've done pretty well with it. So, okay, well, that's all I have for ZIL. Any questions on this one? Okay, we'll look at a couple more. I'll go through them more quickly. So that was an AA sort on Altcoin Alert. Let's reload. And you can sort by social activity. I like to match up social activity with trading activity. There's a more technical version of that with long-term sentiment and elder impulse. That's another one I use. So this one's been interesting. Storage, traded this one in a while. It's got fire on social activity and trading activity. So let's check that one out. Had a pretty big move recently. It's been doing some of this, which we like as day traders. Start with the 5-minute. Yeah, it's kind of got that prolonged dip though. It looks like you're getting a bubble here. It's not real well defined. So you could say this is a single dip, second dip, third dip, maybe a fourth dip. You probably get in here, but it's still trending down a little bit. I don't know. Again, it's not a perfect example of a 1, 2, 3 dip because we don't have a well-defined squeeze and then bubble. It goes bubble and then kind of squeeze for quite a while and bubbles a little bit. That's kind of sort of 1, 2, 3 dip. Okay, let's go to the 15. Look at our indicators. And the bearish ones did well. These bullish ones from Tuesday and Wednesday did okay. The more recent bullish ones. Yeah, what I like is these small moves are 2, 3%. So all these, this one, yeah, all these were profitable if you're only looking for 1% on a chart. And then this one just printed a little over an hour ago. So good stuff there on Divergence. On SuperTrend, not many triggers. The sell didn't do that well. But actually, it might have moved just enough. Yeah, maybe you get out, depending on if you got in right away. That 1% move on a chart, 10x leverage. So that would have been an okay one. And then obviously the buys did well until the sell printed, last night. So SuperTrend's pretty good here, just not as many entries. And then on the RSI, this one's kind of close. Looks like it triggers at about 31.59. So this is one where you could put, say, 32 on your RSI alert. And on spot, you're going to want to have it dip, say, below 32 and go back up. So your alert would look like this, crossing up, 32. Once per bar close, that was a social activity sort. And click create. And then if you want to do one going down, which this one, actually, I'm not sure if these would have worked out that well. Let me get my vertical line. So across here. In my system, I would have ladder bought at 2%, and I would have been out right about here. So that would have been profitable for me. Let's see. So that would have worked out. But if you just, yeah, if you don't do another position, you're still stuck in that trade probably until here. So a couple days. Another cross over here. That obviously does pretty well. And we have a cross on the bottom over here. I think that would have been pretty good. Not in that long. Yeah, you're out of this probably in an hour. So we like those. And this one has dipped below the 30. It's not come back yet. So if you want to trade both directions, crossing was at 32 earlier. We're gonna go with our entering channel, trade both directions. 70, 32, once per bar close, and social activity. That's how you do that. Any questions on storage? Okay, we'll do one more. Take a quick look at 1 hour projected range. This is more for scalping. Looking for 3% or more. Not seeing that. This one hasn't been very useful past few months. And the other one I like is long-term sentiment. Looking for matches for bullish, very bullish, with the Elder Impulse Daily, which is a technical indicator. Sentiment is the Twitter data. And nothing's matching. MTL. I think we looked at that last week. Otherwise, no matches. Well, we'll look at MTL for a spot trade. I think it's on Coinbase. Can't recall if the SEC named this one or not. Volume's not that good. Had a big pump here last night. Gave almost all of it back. It's pretty close to short-term support, $1.15. It's $1.16 now. All right, let's go to 15-minute chart, look at divergence. We're just looking for, I don't think you can short metal. So we're just looking for bullish. And let's look at this one real quick. Okay, this is interesting. There's a lot of, it's like a small move at 7%. So that's almost as good as leverage. So this is intriguing. Yeah, there's 7-8% moves here consistently off divergence. You're in this one a while, about half a day, but 7%. This one, not much is happening with the most recent one. Looks pretty good on divergence, on bullish divergence for spot trade. SuperTrend. We're just looking for buys on this. This buy from Monday night did really well, caught that big move. I probably would have been out before then, but in this buy, depending on what your goal is. If you're looking for 3 to 5%, then yeah, you're in good shape there. This is ripping. I like this metal trade. If you weren't the weekend, I might be interested. And then the RSI, we're just looking for dips below the 30. Only seeing one. We get this one here Wednesday morning. Actually, there's a couple. And then this goes up right about, forgot my vertical line, right about here. Yeah, almost 5%. Good stuff. There's another one here. And you probably be in this one a little longer. Doesn't go our way right away. These wicks keep jumping up, and then you're probably in, I'd probably set a take profit somewhere between 3 to 5%. So I probably would have been out around here after a day. That's not bad, 5% in a day. Okay. And quick refresher. You want to set an alert. We're going to be crossing up from the 30. And it's our long-term sentiment. Click create, and there you go. Okay, any questions on metal or any of the coins we looked at or things we talked about? Any other coins you want to look at? All right, well, I'll wrap it up here. If you're watching on the recording, thanks for doing that. Please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help support the channel. If you are a Carbon member, stick around. We'll do that one next. If you're heading out, have a good weekend. We'll see you next time.